Welcome to the Don't Die Rusty podcast. I'm Rick Hanson, and we will be talking about living, not dying. We're all on this adventure together, and we will be interviewing people who inspire us to live our best lives. People with various backgrounds who will walk us down the trails they took to not die rusty. Adventure and life are many things to many people. It could be a sprint or an endurance race, but with each adventure, we become a better version of us. We hope you keep chasing those dreams, being the best you, and of course, don't die rusty. Well, hello, Don't Die Rusty Nation. This is, we talked, Curt, and you said, come on down, and I've been down here now for 3 days now, and it was funny because this is Curt Alemeier. I should introduce him, Jiminy Cripes, and we talked about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And we talked to Curt about his jeeping trip, and then he's going to sail around the world here coming up. And I just said, I would love to come down and see your boat, and I would like to just learn a little bit. And you said, come on down. And this is the most interesting thing too. Is like I'm coming down and I'm talking to people, telling them what I'm doing, and I get here. I walk into luggage, there you are standing with a drink in your hand. We have a drink at the airport, and we take off like we've known each other forever.
Absolutely.
and that was good. And then we drive down, and you show me a little of Key West, some of the Key Deer, and then it was game time. I got here and got to see some of your boat and see you getting ready. It's like a hunting trip for me because you're always on the phone planning, do we go this way? The weather's going to be like this. What direction do we want to go? Me coming from South Dakota, I would say a land lover. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I just never thought about all this stuff. I never thought about current. I never thought about wind. I never thought about real wind. I never thought about and thank you. I've learned a lot just in the last 3 days. Of hanging around the boat, going and doing things, just looking at all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's completely different than South Dakota. You do. Even if you take a boat out on a lake or something, it's 100% different taking it out on an ocean or even in the Gulf. It's especially a sailboat. Even my motorboat, fishing boat that I had down here, it's you have to plan for things and situations and stuff a lot different. But the sailboat is way different, especially if you're going to utilize your sails. I was trying to get the Key West look going on.
There you go. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I go out and I look at the big water. I went for that long walk this morning out to that Pigeon Island, and I'm looking at the big water, and I'm going, holy moly, once you get out there, it's going to be crazy.
It will be. It's different, especially once you can't see land anymore if you don't pay attention to what's going on. It can scare you a little bit, but you relax after a bit. Your first time out there, it can be a little nerve-wracking, I would say. It's not so much scary, it's just you're nervous because you are so far away from everything.
So, like growing up in Gettysburg, South Dakota.
Yep.
Did you love the river?
Yeah. Yep. I did, but it felt small.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it just seemed like every time you went out there, you went, it was felt like a couple square miles worth of water, and you came back in, and so it was just there was no exploring at all.
Well, now you're going to explore.
Absolutely, yeah, it'd be a whole different deal.
And it's been fun listening, and I thank you because you've let me listen to some of your conversations with your friends about going places and going on the first leg of this Caribbean, Bahamas thing before you take off.
Yep.
And it is amazing listening to the back and forth. Well, the wind's going to do this and the wind's going to do that. And what about the current? And what about, these, you got is it 4 or 5 boats going with? I'm counting you.
There's 4 of them leaving from Marathon here. Yes. Yep.
And then you're going to pick up another person? Maybe?
Yeah, we have somebody from Fort Lauderdale that might bring their boat over too. And then there was a talk of one more guy coming that I know from New Orleans, but I don't know if he's going to show up or not. Or sometimes it's just a matter of they'll text you and say, "Hey, I'm free. I'm coming." Okay.
Because would you consider this a shakeout trip, more or less? I know you called me when we talked about you coming from New Orleans to Marathon and kind of shaking things out. But is this like sailing around the Caribbean, and then you're gonna sail around the Caribbean and the Bahamas, and then you're gonna come back to Marathon?
Nope. We'll probably park our boats down somewhere on the south side of the Caribbean islands between Panama and probably Aruba, somewhere in there. We don't have a set plan yet. If we only get to Grenadiers, then that's all the further we get to. So Trinidad, somewhere down there, we'll probably keep it.
And then you'll store your boat there for during the hurricane season?
Yeah.
And does, I mean, I think it is roughly, well, I lived in, like I said, I've lived in Australia, so is the cyclone season and the hurricane season roughly the same?
They intertwine, but yes, they kind of somewhat, but somewhat not. There's just depends. So there's a storm cycle that goes around the world. You can actually sail around the world and stay in front of the storm or follow behind them. So it's kind of a circular pattern that it goes. So the storms kind of move across the world. So
you'll probably sail in this area. I mean, it's bigger than this area. For, you said about 5, 6 months, 7 months?
Till about June. Yeah.
Till about June.
Yeah, so 6.5 months.
And then you're going to take off right after the hurricane season next year.
Yeah, then we'll go through the Panama Canal and probably start circumnavigating. Sometime in November, December next year.
Yep. And for the people out there, we're sitting on Curt's boat here. I thought this would be very interesting to do it on his boat. And it's also interesting because you'll be able to follow Curt follow him on the Sailing Jeep on Facebook, on Instagram.
Yep.
And you'll be able to see where he is. This is going to be interesting because at least I can say I've been in the boat and I've seen, you did a little work. I can't say that I did any work because I don't know crap.
You helped with the winch and the cleat.
I know, but I don't want to see. Here's the deal. It's like me going on a hunting trip. I don't want anybody to touch my crap.
Yeah.
I know where it's at. It's funny because you talked about how people move your stuff. I don't want to touch your stuff. I don't want to move stuff. And then you say, call me up when I get back to South Dakota and say, where did you put that? And I said, I can't remember. So, but you've been kind and have helped me out and taught me stuff, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's for the most part, you have to get used to people touching stuff on the boat because clearly the size of the boat, you can't run it all on yourself. You can, but you always have crew helping you do stuff. So things get moved. But it's more or less when people get on board, you just tell them, hey, this needs to go back, or you remind them after they're done utilizing something that, hey, put that back. This is where it goes.
Yeah, and we made the joke the other night, I think, or the other day when I spit up my drink a little bit. But I was probably Gilligan, and you're the skipper, and you're hitting me on the head with his cap like he always did. But no, you've answered. You allow me, and don't say that's a stupid question, because I'm going to ask you the same questions again here, because things come up. It's like I didn't realize, like, when you pull into a harbor or pull into somewhere where you just don't think about these things about filling up with fresh water, and they're going to charge you like gasoline.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
The Bahamas, I think right now, the average is about $1.80 something, $1.90 per gallon of water.
For fresh water, but you have a freshwater maker and
correct. Well, I'll create my own. So I'll do desalinization. I'll use my water maker to take salt water and create my own fresh water. Correct.
And you and Mike were talking yesterday a little bit, and you'll create that. But I went over to the turtle. There's a turtle rescue here in Marathon, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to be a tourist for a morning. So I went over to do the tourist thing, and when I'm over there, it just started pouring.
Yep.
So do you have rain catchers? Do you catch it? Will you catch any rainwater? Or
you could. So a lot of people do use like tarps of some sort. Or you could use a 5-gallon bucket and put a little hose coming out the bottom of it and run it right into your water tanks. There's a lot of ways around catching water or creating water. If my water maker quit, I could make water using tarps and catchers and stuff just from humidity. So I can put salt water into a bucket, and you learn how to create water if you need it. So
I'll agree on the daggone humidity. I've been sweating ever since I've been here.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, you basically do the same thing. You have a bucket and you put a tarp over top, and you let the humidity go up onto the tarp, and then the tarp, you angle it down and run it into a different bucket, and you're creating fresh water that way.
So I've never seen. This is amazing. The amount of food, the amount of everything that you have on this boat to survive. I've never. I can't say I've never, but I've. It's amazing to see the total planning you have. You showed me your books of all your supplies, of all the work that you've done on the boat, of all this the stuff to keep on keeping on when you're out there.
Yeah.
And it looks like you're prepared for a long time.
Yeah, I'll probably be self-sufficient for 6 months or so. Anytime you go on the water, you always want to provision. We call it provisions. You always want to make sure you have about 3 times the provisions of what you need. So I've learned from RVing what I need, what I consume, water, food, just down to toilet paper or, hand bounty sheets, whatever they're called. You know almost every item that you're going to utilize, to shampoos, soaps, how much you'll use. And you should always take 2 to 3 times. I usually do about 3 times whatever. If you're going to be gone if it's a 3-week crossing, you should take 9 weeks worth of supplies. So that allows, if something goes wrong, Coast Guard can't get to you or whatever it is, you have enough supplies to get by. Then you start rationing those out and make it last longer. So yeah, we always try to stay pretty well provisioned within a boat for enough people. But it's hard because I'll have people coming and going every couple weeks, so I can't really judge exactly what I need.
So because I know that some people are going to take off. Your son's going to come here and take off with you to go to the Bahamas.
They're going to meet us over in Nassau.
Oh, they're going to meet you in Nassau, and then.
Yep. So they fly into Nassau, and then on the 23rd of December, and they'll stay with us till the 2nd of January.
Yep. In Nassau.
We're going to go sail down to Pig Island, so we'll go halfway down to the Exumas, and then we'll come back to Nassau for New Year's. And
then they can fly out.
Yep, and we'll have more people switching at that time on their plane.
So will any of these, bring their provisions, bring extra provisions for you at those times? Or, I mean, that's only a couple of weeks away. I mean, you aren't going to be using up all your provisions, of course, by then. But say you get down into the Caribbean, are you going to say, hey, you know what, man, I didn't bring enough chew. I need something or something like that.
You pretty much, let's say you're running low on, just use rice, for example, or some kind of food, staple food that you're going to need, and you're running low. So what to me is, you got about a month's worth left or 2 weeks left. you're going to start looking at the islands that you're going to go to, and you're going to start looking at prices. Which island's the best island to stop at for food or whatever it is you need. Maybe it's parts, maybe it's toilet paper. And you're just going to look at islands, which one has the cheapest price for stuff, and you'll stop there and provision. So the whole crew would stop, because generally we're all going to be provisioning fairly around the same time. Most people will be packed really close. Obviously, having people coming and going is going to change your boat a lot. So a friend of mine eats a lot of my sliced deli meat all the time. And I've already warned him. I say, you can't do what you do when you come visit my RV. I can't just go to a grocery store. But he'll make sandwiches left and right and just eat deli meat, and so you can't prepare for that. You might not eat deli meat at all. And so how much do you bring? And you just kind of guess on different people what they might want. Or, I bought liquor that I don't drink, but getting down there, it's going to be, 4 or 5 times the cost.
Yeah.
So I'll just bring extra stuff and at least get somebody by for a night or two, and then I can tell them, hey, we can go shopping tomorrow if you want. I got plenty on the boat to keep you moving. And if you want something specific, I'll take very standard stuff to eat for people, and mostly all I'll eat is fish, and I'll cook fish almost every day because I'll fish every day, and I'll cut up fish and eat that. I got a spare freezer strictly for fish that I catch. So, if you want something specific, I'll have a bags of frozen vegetables and stuff. And then, that's the nice thing on the islands is they have boat boys, or every island's different, but, boat boys that'll come out with their little skiffs boats, and it'll be full of fruits or vegetables or breads or whatever their island has. And then you can buy bananas or whatever from them, the boats. So they might come by every day. They might be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of thing. You don't know till you get there, and then they'll just go up and down the boats that are all parked there, and you can buy fresh fruit and stuff like that from them. So
I'm learning more. We haven't even talked about that part, and I didn't realize that.
No. So some will have fish. Maybe it's a fish that you watch on TV. Families go out and fish every day, and so maybe they have leftover stuff that they'll try to sell it to people on the boat and stuff like that. So
interesting.
And then they try to get you to pay them to clean your boat and everything else. And
give you braids.
Yeah. You name it, they'll try to sell you whatever they can.
So, but you can't catch an Angus, can you?
The what?
Can't catch an Angus in the water. Gone. That's killing me, man. Because when I came down here, I mean, if people listen to this, like my close friends, they know I really don't eat much seafood, but I did since I've been down here, haven't I?
Yeah. Yep.
And, I'm more of the 4-legged critter eater, but, this is, I thought if you need to experience things, so, yeah, but that steak would be good. I was looking for a surf and turf somewhere because I love the surf and turf too. But, anyway, it's been interesting to look. Like I went down into your galley.
This galley.
This is the galley, and that's where the food is?
Yep.
What's that called?
The galley. This is the salon.
This is a salon.
That's a galley. Your sofa's a settee. Your bathroom's a head. Your bedrooms are cabins.
Jiminy cripes. The cabins I know are in the mountains, and it's just one of those funny things. I'm learning new vocabulary all the time.
Yeah.
So, and I've been down there, and that's interesting. And your cabins are really, you got that set up with the Sailing Jeep. I'll get a few pictures here. I've put out the pictures of the boat, but now we're going to get into how long. So I'm going to go way. You've done the Caribbean, your boats, and you're ready to. The hurricane season's over, and you're ready to go.
Yep.
How long will it take, do you think, to get through the Panama Canal then?
You should be able to get to the Panama Canal in a day and a half. That won't be too strenuous. It's just a lot of it comes down to sitting out there waiting for them to call your number pretty much, or your boat. But, waiting for your time to be called. And then once you get called, you're gonna constantly be going through the locks.
And you're going to go, I've watched watched it on Discovery or something, how they let one lock go and then they let the water just goes. So is it one boat at a time so you don't hit each other, or you go into a lock and there's a few boats all together?
Yeah, I might have a cargo ship in there that's 100 meters long, and I'm going to be maybe tied off to them. Or
really?
Yeah. They'll get in there what they can, and they're probably obviously going to go in first, and they'll radio you and tell you who's coming in and stuff like that, and so you just kind of start packing in there, and they'll have all that. They'll know who goes in and what they want to do. So,
and then it was interesting. You were telling me like the taxes and the charges and all that stuff to get through that, and it's amazing that you have a guy doing that for you. Correct?
You don't have to, but yes, your boat length determines how many people you have to have on board. And I don't know all the measurements. I know mine is 4 people. I have to have 4 people on board for my boat. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're a solo person, you have to hire 3 people to come on board with you. If you have 4 people on board and you know what to do and you know how to handle everything, you're good to go.
Well, that is interesting to me, that you have to have that stuff. It's just interesting how that kind of stuff goes, but I mean, to think about the Panama Canal being made, and then to think about going through it, because I understand, because we've talked before, I think on the last episode, I've watched people go sail around the world in races, and I understand why you wouldn't want to go in the Southern Ocean.
Yeah.
Around South America, because that is rough and nasty and could get killed and sink and all this other stuff. It's the most. I'd go through the Panama Canal too. That. Just looking at the water out there, I go, oh my God, I would not even want to be out there.
Yeah. I won't go around that or Africa. So South America and Africa, I'll cut through.
The Suez?
Yeah, so instead of going around South Africa or South America, so you'll cut through through Spain and stuff like that over there. So where that Evergreen got stuck, they're cutting through.
Yeah.
That's why you cut through. Egypt, and so they were...
Yeah, so you'll be in the Suez.
Yep. So the same spot, Evergreen, that's the exact canal we'll go through.
Well...
Hopefully they're still not there.
Now that you're bringing that stuff in, now that you brought up that part of the country, and I was going to get to this point, but you'll have... here's what I don't see. I mean, maybe I'm dumb. I don't think I'm dumb, but I'm uneducated in this part. But the pirates in the Caribbean, are there... I don't see them as predominantly as bad as I do when you start getting heading west once you start getting into the Asian countries and then down. I mean, that's where I've mostly seen them. I mean, we've all seen, now I can't think of that, the boat that Tom Hanks was on.
Not the pilot. I know which one you're talking about.
Where the Navy...
It's just the captain, isn't it?
I think so.
Captain?
The Navy SEALs shot the. Are you prepared for pirates?
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask any other deeper questions, but that is the one thing. Right now we can talk about the drug cartels sending drugs over and bumping into some of them.
I'm too slow. I don't think the missiles will hit me. So. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to. The cartels definitely aren't going to. That's the least probably I'm worried about out there. They're trying to get from point A to point B as fast as they can.
So they are, but the pirates aren't.
No, they're looking for specific things. Yeah,
they're looking because I've read articles about going places where you could be kidnapped and this and that and because they want to ransom you for money and stuff like that, but. You start getting over into, going through the Suez Canal, and it was Somalis, I think, that got the captain, if I'm not Somali, or anyway, they were off the coast anyway.
So most of the stuff over there, by the African countries, they're looking for cargo ships mostly. There's ways through there that you can utilize to be safe. the little boats are, I mean, compared to a cargo ship, like mine, that's more the Caribbean.
Really?
But then if you have a female on board with blonde hair, you make them wear a black wig.
Yeah.
That's they target boats with blonde females.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Because I've also seen, like, you get into the Philippines and Bali and in those little islands chains above Australia, between Asia and Australia too. I've seen a few movies there where they didn't care and they got on these boats, or so. I mean, it isn't just a pleasure cruise in that aspect. It's a fun way to see the world.
Yeah.
But we're in a different world than. Well, it's funny, Hemingway down the road.
Yep.
I mean, we're in Marathon, and I mean, in Key West, I think Hemingway stayed there for 7 years, if I'm correct. But, in those days, it was a different time to explore the world, and we're exploring it. I mean, I have to admit, though, I would rather go. It's kind of like hunting. People can laugh or do whatever, but I like my Sitka gear, and you have so much technology in here. You should know what's going on with your boat, with the weather as best as possible, because I'm not kidding you. I would love to know. I mean, you have all this weather stuff, and I would love to know when I'm hunting, like all this stuff, because it's really, really cool to me that to learn about that stuff.
It is, when you our biggest thing is our AIS, which is basically our transponder like airplanes have. I'm sure you've heard of those.
Yeah.
Okay, so we basically have the same thing on a boat. It's not required to carry, but it allows bigger ships to see me. It allows us to communicate. We can click on the boat on the water. So that's one way. That's your first probably way to get away from pirates, is you turn that off. So I can turn mine off. So then they can't see you, because otherwise they can see transponding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can see me from South Dakota. That's basically when I have that link online that you weren't using my AIS, but that's what it's doing basically. It's saying this is where I'm at, this is who I am. It tells you everything about my boat.
Because we talked about people following you, and they'll probably be a day or two behind because you don't want people to know exactly where you are at that exact time. It's kind of like when Cindy's at home by herself, but I hope. I'm just kidding. But
you're going to have a new dog when you get home.
But I mean, when you leave to go on vacation, you don't say, I left and went on vacation.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been posting because I've been here, but I know that our house is all right. But if some bad person knew that you were gone and this is Christmas time, it'd be like Home Alone 25.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, like even my house down here, nobody really knows where it's at. I don't have my transponders on. They can't find it.
Yeah.
So they know I'm in this area, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, as soon as I leave here, once I get out on the water, I'll turn it all on. They'll be able to track me. If we start getting close to an island, I'll turn off my stuff. You'll know that I'm staying on the island, but you're not going to waste that kind of time.
No.
For me. So, and usually it's the local people. If somebody local is not a good person and sees you online, and now they can start going through your videos and see what your inside looks like. What do you have on board? What do you have, in your cabins and stuff like that. So you just make sure they don't know where you're at 100%.
Yeah. And I don't even know where your house is. I just walk. I turn on my trackers just so I can find my way back.
Yeah, pretty much. If you could speak Spanish, you probably can find me easy. But
exactly. But I've got some cool pictures, and I've done some interesting. Been on some interesting morning walks. I'll say that.
Yep.
It's been fun exploring, but yeah. So how long? I mean, we've talked about it, but I'd hope our audience. How long do you think it will take you to get around the world?
We're gonna do 3 to 5 years. Is our planning for it. You could do it in a year, but that's not. We're there to visit and see.
Enjoy
stuff.
the life.
Yeah. So we're just setting aside 3 to 5 years. I know it sounds weird, but
no, I think that you aren't flying.
Yeah.
I mean, more or less, you're driving in the water.
Yeah.
So I mean, are there any particular places though in the Pacific, and then it'll be the Indian Ocean that you really want to see?
Yeah, I'll Bora Bora. I would love to stop at Easter Island, but the problem with Easter Island is for crossing through the Panama Canal, it's kind of out of the way. But if everybody else wants to go down there, then we'll go. It's completely safe to go down. It's just out of the way. But if we're not in that big of a hurry, the problem is it's the first stop on the way out, and everybody may be like, I don't want to stop there for the first stop.
Yeah.
It's not that great. You're only going to see the head sticking out of the ground. So, but to me, it's like we're so close with a boat. I looked at even renting a boat when I was in Costa Rica just to go out and, it's you have your boat, so then do you want to do that? You're basically going all the way, through Mexico and over. So it's a big jaunt to go down. But I would say Hawaii is probably our first stop. It'll take us 30 days to get there, probably.
To get to Hawaii once you get out of the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
So when you get out of the Panama Canal, when you get to the Panama Canal, will you have successive numbers? So all 4 or 5 of you, whoever goes, can get through, or you'll not have to wait?
Yeah, we'll hire somebody to help line it all up for us. So they'll make sure we get in the same, or at least the next lock behind them or something.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yep.
So you'll probably get through the Panama Canal, regroup. Would you anchor then and regroup and then say we're off?
Yeah, we'd probably stop at a marina or somewhere. There's at the end on the south side, going east to west, there's a marina towards the end there, and we would probably, I would say, spend 1 to 2 days there to fully rest up. Supplies, we wouldn't check supplies going through unless we needed them prior to going through. We would do it after, because now we kind of know, things could happen in the lock. Something might break down. You're sitting there for 2 days,
Yeah.
So now you're down 2 days more supplies than you thought. So we would wait, spend a day. Some guys sleep better docked than on anchor, and so when you're on anchor, you constantly wake up every movement in case your anchor's dragging. So it's not a real restful sleep, especially if it's your boat. So any kind of movement or anything different, the wind shifts, you feel the boat move, feels like it bumps something, you constantly get up and make sure things are good, nothing's wrong, you haven't dragged. If you're docked, you can sleep, and just if you feel something weird, it's the dock, and you just go back to bed. So people will want to sleep at a marina for a night, probably.
Get a good rest before you start crossing.
Yeah.
Because you don't think about this stuff, but and I didn't think about it because first of all, when you're going to head to the Bahamas to Nassau, you're going to leave roughly around 11 midnight. You said, and I wasn't thinking about how many hours, and you want to get there in the daylight and stuff like that, but. I also didn't think about when you're sailing, and you need to have somebody keeping control and learning, knowing what's going on. So somebody will probably be awake.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll take turns.
Yep. Every 2-3 hours we'll shift.
Yeah, so you don't get tired, just so you can relax a little bit. But then I understood, like you said, well, somebody's going to have to cook, and somebody's going to have to watch, and somebody can relax just a little bit, but everybody's doing something.
Yep.
I mean, depending on how many are on the boat.
If it's your time off, your best thing to do is sleep.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, otherwise you're going to be running the boat, grabbing food, drinks, cleaning something. You're always kind of be busy and stuff. So I'll spend just crossing like 1-2 days. I'll always probably sleep I'll be in the cabin at all times. I'll just get a beanbag and sleep up there on the floor.
Oh.
So.
Well, you don't sleep anyway from
Nope.
from being here,
Yeah.
I mean, you're always. I come out in the morning. I mean, I get up. You take it. You must go back in for a nap or whatever, and I take off for my walks and come back, and something's changed on the boat.
Yep. I'm not in a hurry, so I just do it little by little, and it allows me to think a little better of where I want stuff, and so I'll change something, and I'll go think about if that's a good spot for it. You know, you have an emergency, and those items need to be very close to where you're at. You know, like all my corks are really close to each side, which you have no idea what I'm talking about at the moment, but I'll show you later.
Yeah.
Basically, we have corks. If a hole's created, if something breaks in a deal, I can cork the hull really quick. So if any of the through hulls break or if something's leaking, you rip off the piece and you put a cork in there really quick. So, you know, those, I have them spread all over on the boat, basically.
So why don't you use the stuff, geez, I can't even think of the thing, you know, they can make a boat off a screen. You've seen that?
Flex Seal.
The Flex Seal, yeah. I'm just kidding.
So there's ways around. So you need to cork it right away because your water's going to be coming in at gallons per minute.
Yeah.
And so you need to get it corked and then figure out what to do.
So does the cork like seal itself?
No, it's just a chunk of wood
to put in there to stop the flow.
Yep. And you hammer it in and you stop the flow. And if it's something that can be, you know, a monohull's easier to fix underway because you can tilt your boat. If there's a hole in the side, you can tilt it and then make it right at an angle, and you can go fix that hole. I can't do that. So,
no.
I can go up on ground, kind of, if I find soft sand, and I could wait until the tide goes out, and then I could fix it. And then my boat will be standing on sand.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got, you know, probably 8 hours to fix the problem.
But you better dig on, well, hope it's sand.
You'll know.
Well, you would know when you hit the beach.
You can usually tell by the type of land that's coming, what's underneath and stuff like that. So you'll have a good idea if it's going to be sandy or our books and our apps and our monitors stuff will all tell us what's underneath of us too. So, you know, we have different anchors for different things. We have sandy anchors, we have rocky anchors, we have grassy anchors and all that stuff.
And I mean, when you just start, what if you got hooked in a rock with your anchor?
Where we plan on being, I'll dive down, go get it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when you pull your anchor, you drop your anchor straight down, you let it touch the ground, then you let out 7 to 1 rode. The amount of, if you're 5, well, keep it simple. If you're 10 foot deep, you're going to let out 70 feet of water or 70 feet of line.
Really?
Yeah. So what you do is you start letting it out, and so it lays on the ground, and then it barely comes back up to your boat. Your anchor's really just grabbing stuff. Your chain is what's really holding you there. So then when you pull it up, you drive back over top of your anchor, and as you go across your anchor, it's peeling the anchor back up out of the ground, and then you bring it all the way up.
Oh, so you're driving back to roll in your anchor.
It, yeah.
So you won't let, like, when you roll in your anchor, you don't want to, like, keep tension on it?
It will because of the weight automatically. So it'll keep that tension automatically. Yep.
You know what I mean? So you're going to be like going back, but you'll just keep enough tension on it to roll in, so it's tight enough on your roll there.
Yeah, and I'll have a ball that comes up from the anchor, so I'll know exactly where my anchor's at in the ground.
Ah.
So people will tell me left, right, because I can't see, where it's at, and so somebody will be up on the front of the boat, and then they'll tell me left or right to try to keep that ball centered for me.
Huh.
And then. Once we get over it, it'll start peeling the anchor up. And if it doesn't come up, worst case scenario, you go down, you unhook the anchor, and you let the anchor stay.
Yeah.
So I carry 4 big anchors with me, so if I had to leave a couple grand sitting there, I guess I would. But it's, that's not, you'll figure out a way. Go dig it out, go do something, have 2 people dive down, move a rock, whatever you got to do.
Well, I mean, you're a diver, and 10 feet or probably even how deep would you go?
20 would probably be our max.
Yeah, but I mean, that's nothing if you're a diver.
Huh.
So that wouldn't be bad. And most of your anchor, I mean, I was fiddling through your book on anchorages and the rules and regulations when you're for your first segment of your trip here, and
yep.
And we talked, and I mean, I couldn't believe, like, some of them, you're anchoring in 6 to 10 foot of water.
Yeah. Your only spot you really got to worry about is if you snag electrical lines that are underwater.
Ah.
That's a different story. That you're probably just going to let your anchor sit.
Definitely.
So if you cut that open while you're holding on to your anchor, it would not be good for you.
It certainly would.
So
it'd be shocking, actually.
Yes, it would be. Very much so.
So are there any other places that you would like to see? Are you going to stop in Australia? Are you going to?
Yeah, I'd rather stop. I've been to Australia, so I'd rather go to New Zealand.
No, definitely New Zealand.
I think everybody with us wants to go through the Fiji Islands and stuff like that and stuff. So we'll probably spend some time there in the Philippines. There's just a lot of different places that every year we'll kind of make a plan and everybody will pick 1-2 spots to stop, that it's on the boats. And so it adds up if you have 10 different people on the trip.
Yeah.
Now you got 10, 20 spots you're for surely stopping at. That can take quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
So, especially when you have, like one guy on this trip wants to stop in Barbados for 1 to 2 weeks. So we're stopping in. We'd probably stop there anyway, but so we're going to stop there. We're going to stop in Puerto Rico for one guy. He wants to be there for 2 to 3 weeks. And so there's no set plan. It's just when that person's ready to go from that spot, you just let us know. We'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, because I've stopped in Tahiti on my way to Australia. I was a dumbass and didn't stop in to New Zealand like I should have. And it was on the way. You know how, like, going places, I had one way I could have went to Australia. On the way home, I could have, but I made stops just because I could, because it was also a cheaper flight.
Yeah.
But we stopped in Tahiti and stayed there for a bit, and then we took off and stuff like that. But no, I understand New Zealand for sure.
It's honestly no different than if you and your wife decided you're going to drive down to California, and you're going to kind of pick a route to go, and you're going to probably look for things that are along the way and let her pick out some spots to stop. And if she says, you get there and she's like, God, can we spend an extra day here? Yeah. And so that's basically what it comes down to. It's just different. It's the same, but it's different. We got our house with us, so we don't got to find a hotel. We don't got to find we have all our stuff with us. So you driving, I only got a hotel for one night, or the Airbnb for one night. So, we got it. The next one's already lined up. So we don't have to be on a clock like that of, you have to be there by when your reservation is.
Yeah. No, and I understand exactly like we were talking earlier. It's like you're just driving on the water.
Yeah.
Because that is one reason I don't want to ever go on a cruise. Because if I got to a little place that I wanted to stay, I want to stay. It's the same as we're driving down the road. It's funny, like you said, you're going to California, we'll just say, on a trip, and, this little town we haven't explored enough.
Yep.
Or, we want to go up into those mountains just one more time because we didn't get to climb that mountain because weather or whatever else. And now, look at this. Now the weather's better and we can go climb it. So let's wait for a day because I really want to climb that mountain or whatever. I get you there.
And weather's huge to us because even, driving, if it's raining, it's raining, or if it's windy, it's windy, unless you're pulling a camper. But the weather is everything for us. It controls everything we do. So, like, we can't cross if there's a northerly wind because you have your Gulf Stream that moves north current. And so if you have a current that's at 6 knots, which is what the Gulf is, pushing against a 30-mile-an-hour winds, your waves become choppy.
Mm-hmm.
So not a rolling wave. So you need a southerly, easterly type wind to make it a rolling wave for you, not a northerly wind. You won't leave.
Yeah.
You'll sit. So then you got to wait. Then every 10 days, the winds shift down in the Caribbean islands.
Ah.
So then you have 2 days of hell, and you got fun days for 10 days. It's not every day is going to be perfect, but you're going to have some days where it's going to be bad.
So will you go through any of the doldrums, I think it's called?
So far, only thing we really know what we're doing is there's some kind of a dinghy maze by Atlantis in Nassau. We're going to do that with our dinghies, spend a day doing some kind of weird maze thing. I don't know for sure. One of the other guys knows about it. We can't find anything online, but he had a buddy that went there and did it.
Yeah.
He told us we got to go spend a day doing it. We're going to stop in Nassau. The Pig Island in Georgetown are our only set stuff in the Bahamas. So outside of that, we don't know. It's a matter of everybody will start getting here next week, or actually, yeah, it'll be next week. What's the date today? 10th?
I've been lost since I've
8th.
been here. I know tomorrow
I
move out.
You leave on the 9th, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I do leave on the 9th.
So I think on the 13th, 14th is when everybody's going to start showing up. So whatever day that, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't even know anymore. Days. I don't know.
I hear you.
Yeah, so once everybody gets here, well, our main goal is to Nassau. So you start making too many plans, and it will never stick together anyway because we don't know what the weather's going to do. So
yeah.
But yeah, Nassau in Pig Island. The reason our first couple stops are really set is we have so many people coming and going on planes that we have to kind of stick around there. So
yeah.
This is just what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So we don't have a choice. But yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, interesting. I like I said, I feel lucky to have been down here and hanging out with you.
It's a different world, ain't it?
It is a different world. It's totally different world. But it's like I've posted a few times. If you don't go, you won't learn. If you don't want to learn, you're never going to better yourself.
Yep. You got to just do it.
You do.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to hang out here, like I said.
Just don't do it. Don't learn to sail the way I did. Other than that, you're good.
How'd you learn how to sail?
Well, besides books and online, I moved to New Orleans. I finally decided I was moving to wherever I found my first sailboat I had, which was in New Orleans. And I asked some guys on the dock, I said, "Can you guys teach me how to do this?" I knew what stuff was, but I just really didn't get it. Every boat looked different, and so they said, "Well, this guy over here, he'll teach you. He's probably going to be out here tomorrow." I said, "Okay." So I waited for him to show up and asked him. I said, "Hey, can you mind showing me?" He goes, "I've never driven your boat before." Yeah, they love being on trying new boats. And he said, "I'll be back around 5, 6 o'clock tonight." I said, "Perfect." So we got back, and I went over and asked him, and well, let's go. And we went out, and he showed me how to do everything, and we came back in and stopped at the bar in New Orleans because you can pull your boat up to a bar in New Orleans. Who would have guessed that? And we went over and parked, and we went up to the yacht club and had something to eat and drink. And it was like 2 days later, I saw him, and I said, "Hey, just thanks for taking me out the other day." He goes, "Who are you?" I said, "We took my boat out the other day." And he goes, "What boat is it?" And I said, it was 142. And he goes, "I've never driven one of those." He goes, "Did I hit anything?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "I'm sorry, I was so hammered that night." He doesn't even, to this day, he still doesn't recall going out on my boat. So, we joke around about it all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's just finding somebody random, and I'm not shy at all, so I didn't care. I'll wait for the guy to show up and just ask him.
No, and I think that's very, very cool. I mean, I feel lucky, like in that aspect too, because I have no problem talking to people either. And since I've been here, you've introduced me to a lot of people, and I enjoy it. I thank you for that. So, yeah. So, I mean, this is your biggest plan. So, I mean, the good life is gonna. What's your good life? Just keep on keeping on?
Pretty much. Don't stop. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
And here's the one thing that you should, I mean, you don't want anything to rust either on this boat either, so don't die rusty, of course, either.
No kidding. That'd be bad.
So, no, I want to thank you. I appreciate coming down here. I truly do. I appreciate your hospitality. I appreciate that, we've met in person. I now I'll be able to know that I've sat right here in this chair, so wherever you are in the world, I can imagine that I'm sitting like Trinidad Tobago's outside outside the door. You know what I mean?
Or if I'm sinking, you could be like, "I wasn't standing there at one time."
Now it's down there. So yeah. And, I mean, it'll be interesting to. I'm going to for sure because it interests me every day to follow the stories of people that are chasing their dreams, and I love how you're going to go around the world, and I love how you're going to see things, and so I'm going to be following you, and like I said to everybody out there, follow the Sailing Jeep on Facebook or Instagram. I think it'll be an amazing story, and I mean, you get to watch somebody chase their dreams and cheer them on. I cheer everybody on that is good to people.
Yep. Or if they're throwing up a shot at the bar.
Yeah. Thank you. So, anyway, Don't Die Rusty family. You keep chasing your dreams, being the best you, and of course, don't die rusty.